Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Sunday's papers. Ooh, wow. It's almost like I'm going back in time. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So I've just signed up again with, I don't know what it's called, Readly. $12.99 a month. So it means I'll have access to a bunch of papers and stuff. Yeah. So what I thought I'd do, I'll also do like a little summary of the week. What's the week been? It's not really a huge amount happened this week. I suppose really the only thing I did quite a bit of I was tidying up. I mean, there's been a bit of contemplation, a bit of existential thinking, I guess, on my part, just generally. So this week I had been having a tidy up of my stuff, sorting through the books, and I got some curtains, although I've got another pair come in and going to get a rack and everything put up. But I'm trying to put in, sort of get the room a bit more soundproofed for when I make recordings. I mean, I've got soundproofing on the walls, not all the walls, but I've got there's a fair bit there. So I'm hoping by the end of next week, maybe, I should have the window much more soundproofed than it is at the moment, although there is a soundproofed curtain over there now. It's going to have an effect at the moment, but there's a gap where in the window so you can kind of, sound can come through. But I think eventually the window will be very soundproofed, and I'm hoping I can get it down to reduce it by at least, 90% if I can. That way, just going into the future, it doesn't matter if there's people in the garden and stuff, because it's a garden. People should be allowed to, people can do what they want. It's just when I'm trying to make a relaxing recording, doesn't always. It's a little bit distracting for me, maybe more distracting for me than it is for listeners, maybe, I don't know. But hearing someone, blowing a whistle and stuff like that, gets a little bit. I mean, even dogs barking, there's nothing I can do about that except either stop talking or continue to talk. I can ignore it or wait until it stops. Now, if I'm doing a hypnosis recording, I generally try and wait until it stops, because it's not all the time, and then I carry on. And I can't get all like uptight because a dog's barking, because I've got a little barky dog here and he likes to bark. So yeah, I'm trying to see what I can do to make things a little bit better for the recordings. This week I've done quite a few new type of recordings. So let's have a look. I started off the week on Monday. No, it's on Sunday. So last Sunday I did a hypnosis recording, Grief, A Place to Remember and Reclaim. That was, I did that, and on Monday I did a Whisper Monday, and I also did a Monday's Boring Objects, which was bodybuilding. Then I did a Whisper Tuesday, and I also did a hypnosis session called Peace in the Noise. Hypnosis for coping with noisy neighbours. And I did another one. Wow, I was busy that day. Another one called Sleep Hypnosis for Deep Sleep. Very powerful. And then on Tuesday, I did this on a Wednesday, but it was still Trivia Tuesday. Useless inventions. And then I think so that was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I did a recording called Fibromyalgia Relief Hypnosis. Then Friday I did a Q&A Friday. So it's Let Me Bore You to Sleep number 1408. And then yesterday I did a hypnosis recording, Hypnosis for Severe Menstrual Cramp Relief, dysmenorrhea, I'm not sure, probably pronouncing that incorrectly. And then this morning, bearing in mind it's only 11 o'clock in the morning on the 10th of August, Sunday, I recorded a recording, Living with Lupus, Deep Healing and Gentle Resilience. So I did that this morning. That's about 50 minutes. The one yesterday for menstrual cramps was 50 minutes long. The fibromyalgia one was about 54 minutes long. So yeah, peace in noises, so the hypnosis for coping with noisy neighbours, that's 25 minutes long. Sleep hypnosis, 25. So yeah, I've done a grief one that was 31 minutes. Also last week I did one called Lifting the Fog, Hypnosis for Depression. And that was the 1st of August. I did that and that was 27 minutes long. I did another hypnosis one, Safe Space Stress Relief, Relaxation Hypnosis for Stress, number 244, and that was 32 minutes long. Oh, so I've done quite a few hypnosis sessions the last week or so. That's not bad, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 recordings, including Let Me Bore You to Sleep. So I've done 10 recordings this week. And out of those 10 recordings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them have been hypnosis. Blimey. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty good. That's a pretty good. Pretty good. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Now all I need to do is find someone to listen. Where are the listeners? Why doesn't anyone listen to me? Q&A Friday, yeah. I think what it is the more recordings I do, the more backlog it causes for people maybe that are listening. Because also, everyone's got their own preference, haven't they? Because not everybody that listens to my recordings has got lupus or would be interested in listening to the menstrual cramp relief or fibromyalgia or depression or grief, so they're all going to have their own audience, I suppose. Yeah. So that's it, really. That's all I've done the last week. Made some recordings. Quite hot in here. I've got the windows closed and I've got the big curtain spread over, and it's a little bit... It seems like a little bit less oxygen than's necessary. I mean, I probably could have the window open. I could probably have the curtain drawn over, because when I do these recordings, I don't think it matters quite so much if there are some background sounds. But when I do the hypnosis stuff, I like it to be as quiet as possible, if at all possible. Right, and other than that, I don't think there's really a huge amount going on here. The council told me that I didn't need to do anything with Uncle's sausages belongings. And initially I was asked to pack stuff up and try and, clear stuff out of his flat. And they contacted me last week and said that they didn't need me to do that. They're going to do it themselves. So I've already got I probably already put 50 bags of rubbish out already, and there's probably about another 30 bags of rubbish all bagged up inside the flat. So when they do come in, once they've taken out the furniture, they won't have much stuff to really get rid of, to bag up. The council, that is. So, I don't think there's any other... I'm trying to think if anything else has happened at all. I went out today, took Vinny out. He did 2 poos. Is that interesting? I don't know. So, yep, what are we looking at here? So I'm going to look at the Daily Star on Sunday. It would cost £2.30 if it was in physical form. Top brass call on female soldiers to join the SAS. Okay, that's so again, I'm going to have to miss out loads of stuff. The National Lottery. I did the lottery yesterday. I decided to start doing it. You never know. So the winning numbers was for the lotto and then Euro. The lotto was 27. No, it was 02. So number 2, 27, 29, 38, 44, 51, and I'm guessing the bonus is in red, 23. And the Euro is 2, 12, 19, 34, 44, and 6 and 10. I'm not quite sure how that works out. There's 2 in red, 06 and 10. Isn't that weird? So they've got 2 and 44. Both came out twice. I wonder how often that happens. So what's the weather today according to this one? Today, rain in western Scotland and western Isles. Northern Ireland remains cloudy. Midlands and North Wales will see clear skies. Southern England, including London, will be dry and sunny with calm conditions. Outlook, I guess this is for tomorrow. Oh, this is for the next few days. Cloudy with rain in Scotland and Ireland tomorrow. Mild temperatures. Dry and sunny in southern England with warmth. Summer. Turning cooler in northern regions by Wednesday. So according to this, the air quality, air pollution level, and I don't really know how that works. Low is 1, very high is 10. So Highlands 2. North East Scotland 2, Central Scotland 2, Scottish Borders 2, Northern Ireland 2, North West and Mersey 2, North East 2, Yorkshire and Humber 2. North Wales, there's a lot of 2s here. North Wales 2. Don't worry, a 3's coming up soon. West Midlands 2. East Midlands 2. South Wales 2. South West 2. South East 3, which is where I am. Eastern 2, Greater London 3. So the only two places that are high, well, highest, I know 3's I guess still low, isn't it, but is London and where I live, the southeast. I'm guessing the air pollution levels back in the 50s, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s was a heck of a lot higher than that. Especially like it up north and stuff where they had the construction, they had all the metalworks, shipbuilding, mines, and London, of course, any city. A lot of that would be due to, I suppose, the cities had more traffic, I imagine, back then, even in the early days. And shipbuilding, plane building, the car building, all those things were letting off what's-its, weren't they? I don't know, fumey stuff. What's next? Kylie's Glass Act. Reality telly beauty Kylie Jenner raises a glass and her fans' pulses to celebrate her birthday. And the Keeping Up with the Kardashians star turns 28 today. I thought she was Kylie Kardashian. Okay. Kylie posed this snap of herself in a busty black bikini. No. The black bikini, yeah, but it's not a busty black bikini. It's just a black bikini. The bikini itself is just a bikini. Don't start sexualizing clothes. What are you doing? And she's enjoying a glass of red to her Instagram followers. Yeah, it looks... It says... posted this snap of herself, almost like as a selfie. Yeah. I'm reckoning it's a photo shoot. That's what I'm thinking. Call me old-fashioned. I'm thinking that. She wrote last Friday... Oh yeah, last Friday as a 27-year-old. Apparently her friend, pal, Hailey Bieber, replied, 28 is better, I promise. No, it's not. The pics came as fans speculated whether Kylie was still in a relationship with actor Timothy Chalamet, as they haven't been seen together in at least a month. A month? Wow, that's like forever. So apparently she's famous for some reason. I don't really know. She's got I don't know. I've not really ever watched. I've watched, but like the Kardashians, I've seen it on TV. I've never had the volume up, but I've seen it on TV. I couldn't tell you who's who. I think, is it Khloe Kardashian? Is that the one that's married to Puff Daddy or something? I don't know. I don't really follow it. Jennifer Aniston, or Aniston, says Selena Gomez. Can you hear that in the background? Sorry about that. Jennifer Aniston says Selena Gomez has helped her make the most of social media. The 56-year-old actress joined Instagram in late 2019 to launch her Lolavi Glossing Detangler hair product. And Jennifer said, I'd have to add in the name of her latest show, taught her a lot about her online presence. Speaking to People magazine, the former Friends star said, Selena helps me lean into social media. Oh, I'll do it in her voice. She's so effortless when it comes to that, innit? She's just an angel, and I love spending time with her. That's Jennifer Aniston, just in case you've forgotten. Jennifer added that her Friends co-star Courtney Cox had also given her a helping hand when it came to product design. She continued, what haven't I learnt from Courtney? I don't know, what haven't you learnt? Thing is, you can never really answer that question, can you? What haven't I learnt? I mean, it's quite hard to really point out what you have learnt, because there's always going to be things that maybe you've learnt you didn't realise you've learnt. But sort of to like, what haven't I learnt? I don't know. Seems like quite a lot to kind of... Oh well. Oh, there's another picture of ladies in bikinis. I don't know why they have to put stuff like this on in the newspapers. I don't know. I mean, it says here, making waves, Gemma McGee, Kate Spend Love, and Jessica Gray, all 18, cool off at Nuki. What's that got to do with the news? I mean, good for them, you know, wish them well and everything, but I don't understand why they're in the newspaper. You know, I'm not in the newspaper. I don't want to be seeing women in bikinis. What was this? Millions of Brits are making a hash of the humble barbecue. Some 75% mistakenly think grilling meat seals in juices, while others reckon more smoke means more flavour. Others even think not cleaning the grill adds taste to the food, says a study by electrical firm AO.com. Food waste disruptor Martin Odell, aka Lagon Chief, or Chef rather, said, "While you might think burnt-on bits add depth to burgers, you're far more likely to be serving up old fat. A proper, clean grill lets the natural smoky flavour of your food shine through." Okay. And boomers beat Gen Z on barbecue know-how, with only a third of them cooking their meat the wrong way round with the fat side up, compared to a whopping 55% of youngsters. And I'm never going to get that time back it took me to read that out. What was that even about? Does anyone listening to this really sort of buy into this whole boomers and Gen Z and Gen Z rather, sorry, and all these different generations thing? It's all like, well, why? Can't we just get along? Always putting each other against each other. That's never understood that really. Like, oh, if you, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and quite a lot on boxing, and the amount of just the posts are so predictable as far as the comments section goes. And nearly every, whether it's a comedy clip from a comedy show from the 70s or from the 60s or from the 50s or from the 80s or from the 90s or whatever, there'll always be someone that says, oh, that's back in the day when humour was allowed. That's when sitcoms were funny. There hasn't been a funny sitcom since 1926. Like, what? Really? Do people really think that way? I think that's the problem with social media for me. And I'll include YouTube in that because, you know, it is one of the biggest social media platforms there is, really. It's just a little bit different. It's not quite the same as some of the others, but it's still millions and millions of people posting their views, whether on video or in the comments section. And there's a lot of opinions out there. I wonder if we could get a pill, invent a pill that takes away people's opinions. Anything that's not based on fact, just not allow that to even arise in the person's brain. I don't know. Yeah, the amount of people like with boxing, they'll say, oh, but Usyk, he wouldn't last 2 seconds in the ring with Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay. They were the same person. No, Cassius Clay held the world championship in the early 60s, and Ali was more like late 70s, really. It's like, no, it's the same person. We got, they wouldn't stand a chance. the the people in the that weren't even in the top 20 in the 70s would beat anyone in the top 10 now. Only shavers would knock everyone out. Ooh. Maybe it's true, I don't know. But we don't know. We can't know, can we? We can't dig them all up. And, there's no way. I mean, the rules of boxing has changed, like I'm sure it has with many, many other sports. So the way boxing was in the 1920s, 1930s and 40s and 50s, very different from now. I mean, there was a time when if a boxer knocked their opponent out, the boxer could just continue hitting them. Yeah. And then it progressed to they had to wait till they stood up again, and then they continue hitting them. Or there'd be a 10 count from the referee, but they'd still be standing over the opponent until they got up, and then they continue hitting them again. And now, if a boxer knocks someone down, they have to go to a neutral corner before the referee even starts counting. Well, before the referee continues counting, because I think they've got someone outside of the ring that starts the counting. So the longer it takes for someone to go to the other side of the ring, to a neutral corner, the longer the count will take. So things have changed. That so many fights would have different outcomes if it was the same as it used to be. Now, not sure quite how long this has been, but they do like a bang, 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 like 10 seconds before the end of the round. And the referee tells the boxers 10 seconds. They never used to do that. There was a rule, like now, the referee, when between rounds, the boxers go into the corner and have a nice drink of water and maybe, I don't know, do a jigsaw puzzle or whatever they do for a minute. Now, before, they used to stand in the corner, and as soon as the bell went, they could start fighting. Now, they changed those rules. Part of this is made up, part of this is fact, and part of it is I'm not sure if it's true or not. But I remember seeing it anyway. Lloyd Hannigan was world champion, welterweight world champion, and he was defending his title. So, he'd had a couple of rounds or whatever, and then he was in the corner, and then he was coming out for the next round. The bell went. Now his opponent was just getting off the stool, so they're very slow getting up. Lloyd Hannigan ran across the ring and basically knocked him out. He was standing up and everything, but he didn't have his wits about him. He wasn't kind of prepared, although he should have been. And they changed the rules after that. So now, when a round is about to start, the referee stands in the middle, keeps them separated. Even if the bell's gone, it's still like, so wait. Okay. So that one person isn't just running across the ring to, make sure that both people are able to sort of continue and ready to start. So there's a lot of changes, it's a very different sport now to how it used to be. And also, there was a lot of dodgy stuff going on. People putting stuff in their gloves, maybe taking the padding out of the gloves, given them that extra benefit, basically meaning they couldn't lose because they had like a horse's shoe in their glove or something silly like that. So a lot of people didn't, that went on. That can't go on now because the gloves are checked. So, all that stuff wasn't done before. Probably wasn't even done 20 years ago, never mind like 40, 50 years ago. The gloves are checked, the wraps, when the wraps are put on, they're actually watched by a member of the other team, so and they get signed. So, the gloves are picked, they're checked, everything. And the referee checks the gloves before the fight starts to make sure it's all got stuffing in properly and everything, Because a few years ago, probably 20 years ago, maybe more, there was a fight and I'm not sure if it was a world title fight, I think it was. And this bloke got really badly punched up, like he was a mess. I'm not even sure who won the fight. I think it might have been, I think it's the one that wasn't all messed up that won the fight. And then the fight come to an end. It's a really good fight. Everyone loved it, and people were like sort of saying, "Well done." So the other corner came over. I think a trainer came over to just congratulate the other boxer because it's usually quite good sportsmanship, like in the whole thing. Came over to sort of gave him a cuddle and a kiss and stuff, and he was holding on to his glove while he was doing that, and he realised that there was no padding in the glove. So basically, he had his wraps on, which was protecting his hands, but he didn't have any padding, which was basically like bare knuckle fighting, really. And there was a lot of hoo-ha. He went and grabbed the referee, and it was clearly everyone was involved in it. Like on this boxer's corner, him, his trainer. I think he was allowed to fight again, but his trainer, they were banned from boxing forever. I think. Again, I might be lying. It doesn't really matter, does it? So it's a different game now. So to say that Rocky Marciano would have beaten Usyk or Joshua or whoever, name a heavyweight. It's a different situation because Rocky Marciano, and he was great, he took a lot of punishment. The kind of punishment that doctors now stop in the ring. And there's one fight, he actually had his nose split in half. I think it was his final fight. There's no way now, in these days, that the doctor would allow that to continue. So he would have lost his world title fight because he was getting beaten. He managed to knock the bloke out at the end of the fight, but if he was getting outboxed, and I think that's why he kind of retired, because he realised he didn't have the love for the sport anymore. But that wouldn't have even happened. But then if you go back to Lennox Lewis against, Klitschko. It was Vitaly Klitschko. Lennox Lewis defended his world title early 2000s, and it got stopped because Klitschko had a cut on his eye. Now, if that had happened, and Klitschko was outboxing Lennox Lewis, I'm pretty sure he would have won that fight if it had gone the distance. Now, if you moved backwards to 1940 or 1930, that fight would not have got stopped based on a cut eye. I'm not saying that it never stopped a fight based on a cut, but you know, a world title fight, heavyweight championship, they wouldn't have stopped it for that. So it's, you know, it's... I always like to add a bit of boxing to really bore my audience. Yeah. Apparently Oasis will be rolling in it. I gotta roll with it, you gotta take your time. So their mega reunion tour is on course to rake in almost £500 million. Really? Number crunchers forecast it will make at least 400 million in ticket sales and merchandise. Okay, the band kicked off a run of 41 gigs in Cardiff last month and head to Dublin next week. Analysis by Birmingham City University shows 9.7 million average earnings per show, and it puts Oasis ahead of U2 and Coldplay, but just short of Taylor Swift's 10.3 million a gig tour. Now, if you don't know who Oasis is, they were really popular band in the sort of middle to late 90s. Like, really the biggest band in the UK. Well, there was two bands. There was a rivalry between them and I forget the name of it. Another band, Park Life. Who sung Park Life? All the people, so many people, and we all go round and round, round and round is there. Park Life. Ooh, 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 ooh. I know it's Damien Allman. So he also has the band The Gorillaz. So there was that going on between them, but Oasis were huge. I don't know how big they was in America or in other countries. I don't know. And if they can make that much money just by doing gigs in this country, that's phenomenal. But then they were charging huge amounts of money for the tickets. It's not. I mean, you think they're making nearly 10 million per show. That's a little bit, isn't it? I mean, I don't need that much money. I'm happy to do a show for just, you know, I'll do a little tour of 41 gigs for the amount that they just get for one show. I'd be okay with that. I think I'd manage 9.7 million for a year of work. I think I'd get by on that. That would last me a few months. Yeah. So Liam and Noel are estimated to earn 50 million from the tour each. I imagine it would be much more than that. If they got 400 coming in, I suppose, how much does it cost to hire out Wembley Stadium? Huge amounts of money. I mean, just a 2,000 seat theatre probably costs about £4 or £5 to rent out. So to rent out an arena with maybe 40,000, 50,000 seats, it's going to be, what, a couple of 100,000? 100 grand, 200 grand? Don't know. Hollywood star Alex Baldwin has been charging £100 per autograph at fan festivals after suffering a series of financial setbacks. Wow, £100 per autograph. Who? What? What? Why would people pay for an autograph? I mean, the point. No disrespect to Mr. Baldwin. It's just, I didn't think the whole point of an autograph is either you're waiting around for hours or days because you're a big fan of the person, and you're getting an autograph just to, you kind of do that just to show a bit of love back to your fans, or the signings, like a book signing or an album signing or a CD signing, where the person's signing a book, but then the customer is then paying 10, 20 quid for a book. So they're getting paid every time they do a signature. But £100? I reckon, I could just, 1,000 of them a week would do me. I'd get me by, I think. 1,000. So apparently he's 67, and he used to be worth 52 million. Apparently it went down after the incident he had on a movie. But wow, he spent millions of dollars, tens of millions on his defence. I'm not going to go into that, but I just find that very strange. He's an actor. He's an actor. Someone gives him something to do, he just goes and does it. Oh well. The average price of cremation has hit a record high of more than 1,000. We're talking about 1,000. My friend's is costing about nearly £3,000. And is that just without anything else? Okay, well, I don't know, I won't go into that. SAS needs women in the ranks. The ranks. SAS commanders said they need to recruit female soldiers if the regiment is to fight in future. Paddy McGuinness shows who's boss in a hilarious social media snap. Great. Okay, let's move on. I'll just skipping a bit of this. I've taken a long time. Ooh, relax and enjoy lazy day. This is in the Daily Star Sunday. Survival of the sluggish. It's possible lazy people could actually live longer. In a 2018 study, Boffin, they like to use the word Boffin in the Star, Bruce Lieberman, a professor of ecology and evolutionary biology, gave pause for thought when he argued that lascivious animals like sloths had an advantage, saying the lower the metabolic rate, the more likely the species you belong to will survive. Does that mean I can stop doing burpees at the gym? Oh dear. Now, lacid, lac, lassitude, lassitud, lass, lassitudinous, lassitudinous is not a word that is used generally. Lassitudinous, lassitudinous, lassitudinous. Nope, never heard that before. American engineer Frank B. Gilbert, Senior. When do people add the senior to their name? Is it once they've had a kid? But then if that person and then that kid, I guess if it's got the same name, is going to call themselves Junior. What if they have a kid and have another one, the same name? I mean, why would you call someone by the same name? I don't know, but... Or would it then be Frank B. Gilbert the third, wouldn't it? I never really... I mean, it's weird because... You could, if I start going on about it, the fact is that both one of my uncles and one of my aunts were both named after my grandparents. So they had exactly the same name. But just, I think it was tradition, wasn't it, I suppose, in the past, maybe. It's like me having a kid and calling her Jason. Just don't know. No. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, more bikinis. A holiday in the sun. Paddle, do nicely for England hero Lucy Bronze. The Lioness was spotted on a yachting trip with fellow pro footballer Honor Battle. Lucy's break with the Spanish international showed there are no hard feelings between them after England beat Spain in the Euro 25 final. Okay, I'm just not really sure what that's all about. What is it? Lionesses. Women playing football? What's the world come to? Oh. Heidi Highstar Sue Pollard fears she would go to jail after being caught stealing milk from a doorstep. Sue, who played Peggy in a TV show, was just 15. Right, she's 75 now. She's telling us about something that happened 60 years ago. Why? Why, though? Seriously, though, why? Why is she talking about nicking a bottle of milk off someone's doorstep 60 years ago? I don't know. It was her most embarrassing moment. Oh no, the TV and Panto star said her most embarrassing moment came when she had to ask a cab driver to stop while she relieved herself in an alleyway. She said, as I prepared to go to the ladies, on the floor that is, a police car came along and the policeman said, Heidi, hi! The thing is, right, Sue Pollard, who played Peggy, she is a star still. She's a legend. So she can go do wee-wees anywhere she wants as far as I'm concerned. I realise I'm not really in control of that situation, but my dad is ballet no mates. Ross Kemp says his former Spanish ballet star Martin is a Billy No Mates. I don't know what that's about. The one show presenter was discussing friendships when he revealed he was shocked to hear his dad, 63, this is Martin Kemp from Spandau Ballet from the 80s, married to ex-Wham singer Shirley Holliman, only really saw his close family as friends. Okay, chatting to music star Tom Grennan, Roman, who has a sister Harley, said, "Take my dad for an instance. My dad doesn't have any friends. I've asked my dad this question. I said, 'Who's your best mate?' Do you know what his answer is? 'You. You are, Roman, you.' I said, 'Who's your other best mate?' 'Mummy is.' 'So who's your other best mate?' 'Harley, my daughter.' 'So you, my wife and my daughter, you're my best friends.' So yeah, that's the story. I do see that sometimes when people say, "Oh, my mum, my dad's my best friend, my bestest friend." I'm just like, okay. I've never really seen family as being friends. Maybe it's just me. I know there's a certain point where perhaps you don't need parents in the way that perhaps we may have needed them as younger people. And then there comes a time when they need their children. So it's kind of, I don't know, doesn't seem like a friend situation. Because it's not equal. Or maybe it's just me, but often is just me, I think, but I've never felt an equal relationship with any member of my family. Not that I'm not equal, but it's just this. It's not a. For me, a friend would be someone that doesn't judge me, that just accepts me for how I am, or genuinely just accepts me, and I don't have any. Family don't do that. Not in my experience. So friends are not. To me, just to me, friends aren't someone that want me to be different to who I am, to want me to act different, to want me to think differently. They're not the ones. They're not going to come into my flat and moan about how messy it is. I mean, they'd only do that once and they'd be out. But I know that a family would, or they'd at least internally or on the way back home. "Did you see the mess in his flat? I can't believe it. He's a hoarder. My son's a hoarder." I'm not a hoarder. Filthy fellas aren't changing their dirty undies often enough, apparently. Skid Row Brits. There's another one. A whiffy 40% of blokes with a partner said they wear the same pair of underpants for several days. I'd be surprised. I don't know who would admit to that. But how would they? I mean, how would they get away with that if they're living with someone, or if they're in a relationship? I mean, I just assume that they're living together, but how would they get away with that? Because if you're around someone, you kind of have to wash, don't you? You can't get away with just, I'm just like, if you do a big massive fart and you're watching TV, if you're living on your own, you say, "Well, I'll check that later." You kind of, if you're living with someone, you may even need to move to a different room to let one out, to release a bit of air through the window, maybe. I mean, I actually had a date kind of a date back in 2000 and... it's a while ago. It's probably 2019, maybe. Yeah, it is a while back. Blimey. And she just came up and we watched boxing, and I ordered a pizza. She had some of the pizza, but she wasn't really too bothered. I was drinking Coke, and I think she had some Coke or whatever, and the bubbles from the Coke was really it was filling me with a lot of air, a lot of helium, and I noticed myself starting to float, and I thought, I've got to get rid of some of this gas, because that's what they do, is what hot air balloons, they let some gas out, don't they, in order for the balloon to start to sink down to the ground. But I didn't have anywhere to do it, because I knew if I went to the bathroom, the echoiest room in the world, that's not going to hide it. The bedroom's not going to hide it. The kitchen also echoey. Hallway's echoey. I just didn't know what to do. And you can't buy fart silencers, can you? Bum silencers. I don't think they even exist. Again, another invention. Ladies and gentlemen, go out, invent. Please share the profits with me. Please. So I just kept in the farts for hours and hours and hours. I think I made an excuse to go outside, and I went into the garden and I just had to let it all out. I came back in and she said, Did you hear the building shaking? Did you feel that? I said, no. I don't know what you're talking about. The whole building shook. I can't believe that 40% of men in relationships don't change their underwear for a whole week. That sounds like just 19% of women are happy in grubby knickers. I don't... Who... Right. If someone stopped you in the street to do a survey and they was to ask you that question, how often do you change your underpants or your underwear, your knickers or whatever? I mean, as a joke, I might say once a month. You know, it's fun just being silly. But generally, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, every week, once a week, maybe every 5-6 days. Yeah. And I've got a girlfriend. Do you want to meet her? Like, she's in my bag. What? So yeah, it's kind of... No, I don't think people would be that honest. I reckon maybe a lot of those people that give those answers are just making fun of the people. Just pretending. Right, what we look? Okay, that's a TV show that I don't watch. Only Fools and Porsches. Brits just like dodgy car dealer Boise. We're a nation of Boises, with 2 million of us having sold motors with faults, just like the telly car trader. The rogue played by the late John Challis in Only Fools and Horses often crossed swords with Del Boy as they pulled off hooky deals. See, they're talking about this like it's a good thing, like it's a funny thing, like it's a light-hearted thing. There's nothing I mean, I don't want to lose my sense of humour because it's a comedy show, but if there's really people out there really selling cars, like there's 2 million people out there that have sold a car that's dodgy or not working, or the brakes don't work properly, or it's like, that says a lot about the people, doesn't it? It's, oh, we're just being like that lovable character on If Only Fools and Horses. It's a funny thing. Yeah, how many accidents were caused? You're losing your sense of humour, you are. I'm not. Yeah, you are. You're being all solemn, all sensible. Yeah. Right, fat jabs warning for men. Experts have put out a warning about a study showed in 4 Gen Z men who bought fat jabs online and they didn't consult a healthcare professional. 26 men, 18 to 27, purchased a treatment without getting proper medical advice. Okay, I mean, I don't know anything about those fat jabs, but Cindy's my doctor's hoof. A girl left. Okay. Wow. It's a girl who was very ill at 13 says that her horse helped her get back on her feet. Now 15, she was left paralysed from the waist down, 2023. I don't know how well she is now, but I've been told that for stress and things like that, horses are almost in a different league. There's something healing about horses. Just cleaning them, brushing them down, you don't even need to ride them in order to have that. I don't know, like physical, emotional, spiritual, maybe benefit of horses. So I don't have a horse. I've never really spent time with horses, but I have seen them, and I've probably stroked a couple over the years. Maybe it's the size of a horse, because they're so big, and maybe something that big being so calm. I know obviously not all of them are calm, but I don't know. I think that animals, like Vinny, I think he's healing. He heals me. So when I'm stroking him and I've got my arm rested on him, or maybe, we share a bed, and like he's healing me, he's looking after me. And I know that a lot of the time he's right next to me, and my arm's on him, my hand's on him, and he spends hours like this. But, a fair bit of the time he seems like he's not interested in cuddling, and he doesn't want me sort of near him, he doesn't like being picked up. But I think when it comes down to it, he's looking out for me. In his own way, he's looking after me. And probably I'm the dog. I'm the pet. I think that's how he sees it. Okay, what's a B? Let's have a look. What other ones have we got? Ed M shows a blinder. Emma Willis insisted Singletons don't go on Love Island, don't go on Love is Blind UK for fame. The host is convinced that they really are looking for the one. The one. Is there a one? 7 billion people. Is there a one? So I'm wondering if you could literally go to every part of the world, you're probably going to meet someone that you get on really well with if you can speak their language. Probably in every country. There's going to be at least one person, isn't there, in every country that you're going to just click with and just really want to be near them. I say just one, maybe thousands, but I don't know. Just this whole idea of the one. It's very limiting. One of the ones, maybe. Okay. Classic movie Greece has been brought to life for a new immersive experience. Experts at Secret Cinema have recreated iconic locations from the film to take fans back to the 1950s. There's Rydell High, the Frosty Palace, the drive-in cinema, and even a fairground. And the main attraction is the show, which happens in a mini arena. Clips from the film are played on giant screens while actors recreate the scene on stage. And the action moves around, so some of it will take place right in front of you. Can you hear that in the background? It's lovely, isn't it? The fun ends with a brilliant climax at the fairground. I don't remember that in the movie. It's very entertaining and very innovative. Even if you're not a massive fan of the film, it's worth seeing. It's being staged at Battersea Park in London until September the 7th. Oh, brilliant. Matt Goss has told how a fan once gave him a frozen turkey. The odd girl left Bros. The odd gift left the Bros singer in a right flap. Matt said, "The weirdest thing I get given are food. A fan once gave me a frozen turkey." Now, I don't know what's going on with Matt Goss, but he looks different. I know he's how old is he now? It's not putting his age. They normally put their age. He's got to be 60 now. He was older than me because he came out. Bros came out in 1988, I do believe, and I'm pretty sure he was about 19 or 20, maybe 21. So yeah, he'd be getting on to 60. He just looks different. But it doesn't, I don't know, people look different with age, but I saw him a few years ago in a documentary, and he just looks different from that. Not quite sure what it is. He was a proper sex symbol, really. Everyone, he was so gorgeous. He was him and his brother, Matt and Luke. I thought Matt Goss was Matt Goss. I still don't know which one is the singer. Yeah. Matt and Luke. Matt Goss, Luke. I thought Luke was the singer. Yeah. I don't know. One of them was. One of them went on to continue singing, but it did sort of. Where did he go to? Vegas, I think. And then the other twin, because they were twins, became an actor. And then Craig, who was the third member of Bros originally, he became a music producer, I do believe. Oh, look at this. Robot Ronaldos show what they are made of. During a rather unusual game of football. The exhibition match was being held ahead of the Robot World Cup. It was taking place in Beijing ahead of the official World Humanoid Robot Games to be held from August 15th to 17th. Okay, cool. Oh, look at this. Boffin, Beatrice Billerud, told of her shock at spotting what could be alien satellites orbiting Earth in old star photos. The astronomer had stomachache when she realised the potential scale of her discovery. The Swede studied snaps. Or either she's a human or she's a Swede. Why you start calling her a Swede for? The Swede started taking snaps, observing snaps, from 1957. Okay. I don't know. Right. I got bored of that story. It's weird, isn't it? Okay. Ooh, what's this? Hot coffee for weekend. Oh, Damon Albarn. That's what I was talking about earlier. From Blur. That's it. He was Blur. So David Allman with Blur had a kind of rivalry with Oasis in the late 90s. And Blur at some point seemed to come on top. Like they get to number one before the other one did. Well, what's this I'm looking at? With just a week to go before their biggest ever UK show, Blackpink are already eyeing up something more impressive. The quartet hope to become the first K-pop group to play the Glastonbury Festival when it returns in 2027. But first they have a little gig at Wembley Stadium on August the 16th. Blackpink. I don't know, that's the first I've heard of Blackpink. The Weeknd is officially the most popular artist in the world, and it's all down to a caffeine hit. The Canadian star, real name Abel Tesfaye, launched his own coffee brand in 2023 named Samra after his mum. It turns out that having a cuppa is the key to staying grounded as well as his success. I think his success is probably not so much to do with coffee than his talent. I'm just guessing. Okay, got a couple of zebras smiling. That's nice. Over 55. What's this about? Over 55. Generation XXX are romping their way into retirement. A new report says the over 55s have fewer inhibitions than younger folk. And more than a quarter said they were having the best rumpy-pumpy of their lives. Many even confessed to regularly using additional things to increase their enjoyment when participating in certain activities in the bedroom. Yeah, that's it. That's probably a way to say it. Next toy. While 19% stated they enjoyed some solo loving, at least what Winkleys are a naughty lot. Wrinklies. Don't call me a wrinkly. I'm not wrinkly. I don't really think of myself as being wrinkly. I might be. I kind of think that I'm still... I don't know. Maybe I am wrinkly. I don't know. I've not looked. What part of you... How do you know if you're wrinkly? How? What part is supposed to be wrinkly? I don't know. Anyone? Let's have a look. Near the end of this. Okay. Stands in cinema now. In 2007, the Oxford added the term stan to mean an overzealous or obsessive fan, especially of a particular celebrity. The word has its roots in Eminem's 2000 song Stan, featuring an infectious vocal sample of Dido's Thank You. Real life stands of the Grammy Award winning rapper, real name Marshall Bruce Mathers III. Again, the third, I don't really know what that's about. Is it about trying to be like the royal family? Is that what, like, the third is? Is that why people give themselves that names? Sort of, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so apparently it's some kind of film, I don't know what it is. Finish with flourish. Reasons to visit Finland in 2026. The Finnish city of Oulu is 2026's European capital of culture. But temperatures there are rising, so it's a good job. It's a good job next year's culture programme has been drawn together under a relevant collective theme, the climate emergency. Oh God, what is this? Cultural highlights of the programme will include a Sami opera, polar bear pitching, the climate clock, the Arctic Food Lab, 100% Oulu, World Photography Exhibition, Layers in the Peace Machine Art Installation, the World Air Guitar Championship. Okay, cool. I'd like to go to Finland. I'd like to go to quite a few places in Europe like that. I think it'd be cool. Because whenever I've met anyone from those countries, they've always been nice. Always seemed really nice, you know. I know you can't judge a country by a few people on holiday in England, but these were more than, they weren't on holiday. They were travelling and they were working, and so I've met people and got to know them quite well, kind of, as well as I ever get to know anyone. Finland. I'm just seeing if there's any. I'm just skipping through the sport because there's nothing on boxing and out about, which is probably a relief to some people. Lots of crosswords and stuff. Loads and loads. Wow. And TV. Is it a whole week's TV? No. Oh, horoscopes. So let's go for the horoscopes. Aries. Consult with a legal professional before going ahead with any unusual business or financial plans. If you have a genuine desire to help people in need, find out about places to volunteer. That's Aries. Taurus. Decluttering your home will boost your sense of control. Achieving goals will be easier once you know where everything is. Sell or donate items you no longer use and clean your living space. So there. Gemini. Little annoyances like misplaced computer files, traffic hiccups, or missed appointments can be frustrating. A strange premonition that makes a very big impression could come true. Cancer. You could find yourself thinking about finances. If you weren't before, you are now, aren't you? Considering taking on an extra job to improve your financial stability. Prioritise your well-being by focusing on health, work, diet and relationship. Leo. People in power will stump all Leos now, so anyone that's listened to this, Leo's in season this very moment. People in power will stump up the cash to pay for much needed changes. Have you been thinking about launching your own business? It could become a reality if you can find a silent partner. Dun dun dun. Virgo, which is mine. And mine, by the way, my birthday's 26th of August, if you want to wish me happy birthday. I don't know. It feels like you're in a rut. Okay? Organise a few get-togethers to widen your social circle. Volunteering is another way to keep depression at bay. A group project will boost your confidence. Yeah. Thanks. Libra. Watching a disagreement escalate can make a small issue seem larger. Pretty much in all situations, I would argue. Intensify. As emotions intensify, a minor issue is magnified. Yeah. This is like the most obvious stuff ever, like, course. What's that got to do with a horoscope? Remind everyone to stay calm and try to keep things in perspective. Okay. That seemed a bit personal though, didn't it? It seemed very kind of like this person, what's his name, Russell Grant. It's almost like he knows someone that's a Libra and he's like, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Oh, this is what you need to do, sort your life out. Scorpio. Taking a proactive stance towards work and money will pay off. This is a great way to highlight your accomplishments, your ability to make a good impression on people lead to positive outcomes. Cool. Sagittarius, a financial relationship or business issue is weighing heavily. Resolving it promptly will bring some relief. A pal or colleague keeps changing their mind about decisions already made. Capricorn, you're aware that going into your shell is preventing you from making progress. Wondering what others think of you holds you back. What's key is that you are happy with your decisions. Two more. Aquarius. Aquarius. Investing in a new hobby will not be something you regret and could bring rewards further down the line. Your productivity rises as you become more interested in a challenging assignment. And lastly, Piscis. It will be easy to convince others to support your ideas for new home purchases. You may wonder why a housemate is being so cooperative. Don't question their behaviour too much. Okay, fair enough. And that is the end of that. It's the end. It's the end of the whole thing. So I just want to check out what Blackpink is, because this is new to me. Blackpink. Right. It's a girl band. Yeah, I've got no idea. I'm really out of touch. I'm so out of touch. Oh well, good luck to them. If they're doing Wembley Stadium, they must clearly be popular. I mean, that's a big old place to do. It's the biggest venue in the country, I do believe. I believe so. And that brings me to the end of this recording, because that's the whole paper done. Thinking about it though, £2.50 a paper. It would work out cheaper for me to go and buy the paper than to have the app. But then I'd have to go out and get it. But also though, maybe I'll do potentially I could do a daily paper review. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to make any rash decisions. No. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself. You deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye. Oh yeah, I will be back tomorrow with Monday's Boring Objects. Da 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 da.